Blue Jackets need a win in a big way. Unfortunately, they have to go through the Florida Panthers to get there. We're going to break down how they can do this on today's Locked On Blue Jackets.
You're Locked On Blue Jackets, your daily podcast on the Columbus Blue Jackets, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Blue Jackets, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I am, as always, your host, Jay Foster, here to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly about your favorite team and mine, the Columbus Blue Jackets. Before getting started, I want to thank everyone for making this your first listen of the day every single day. Locked On Blue Jackets is free and available on all podcast platforms and over on YouTube. I also have to let you know that today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new FanDuel customers can get $200 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Unfortunately, the rules say that the Blue Jackets have to play the Florida Panthers tonight. They've yet to beat the Florida Panthers this season. Most recently, they got shut out 3-0 by them in 2 weeks ago, and it's crunch time for the Blue Jackets, right? It's tough. This is a must-win game. Basically, every game from now till the rest of the season is a must-win game, right? And they can't go into it being like, well, it's the Florida Panthers. There's a good team. There's no shame in losing to a good team. Correct. But you have to win it, right? There's no more moral victories. There's no more, well, we were close. Like, you've just lost 4 games in a row. You've scored 1 goal in the last 3 games. You got to win this one, right? Like, you just gotta. They're in Nationwide, which helps. However, the Blue Jackets did lose in Nationwide to the Panthers back on October 15th. They lost 4-3. Like, they've been outscored 7-3 so far in the season series. Like, they need a win, right? How do they do that? Well, there's a handful of different things that they could do. They could remember how to score goals. That would be nice. The special teams are going to probably be a problem, as they've been for so many games now. The Panthers have the 9th best power play in the league and the 11th best penalty kill. So again, it is in the Blue Jackets' best interest to keep the game at 5-on-5, as it's been for so long, right? Like, power play is dead in the water. The penalty kill is struggling. 5-on-5 is where their strength is, and it's in their best interest to keep it there. However, as we all know, the Blue Jackets love to do crime. So it could get interesting. It could get dicey. We'll find out. But the Panthers are a good team, is the thing. The Panthers are a very good team. They are battling for the top of their division. I don't know what the standings look like exactly, but they are tied. Oh, they are at the top of the division currently, tied with the Maple Leafs for 85 points. They're doing much better than the Blue Jackets, who have 70 points. You know, the Panthers have 41 wins on the season already and a goal differential of plus 37. Like, this is a good team. The Blue Jackets can beat them. We've seen it before, not this season, but we've seen it before. The Blue Jackets can beat this team. They need the goaltending to be perfect. They need to take advantage of the fact that there are key players missing for the Panthers. Matthew Tkachuk is still out and will be out for the rest of the regular season. Aaron Ekblad is going to be missing until like the 3rd game of the playoffs with a suspension. Obviously, there are still players there that are dangerous, you know, like Sam Bennett, Sam Reinhart, Sasha Barkov. Like, they've still got guys. They've got Brad Marchand now. I don't know if he's played for the Panthers yet because he is injured. But no, he has not played for them yet. And I don't think he's playing tonight. But again, if he is, that's another guy that you got to watch out for. Like, this team is stacked. From top to bottom. Again, like, they picked up Seth Jones, who has not been the best for them this, throughout this small sample size is the word I'm looking for, but he is still, a dangerous offensive player, and he's been fine, if not great, for the Panthers, I feel like. So, they have all of these players. Missing Matthew Tkachuk sucks for them, but it's not the end of the world, right? They have other guys that can step up. Missing Aaron Ekblad, not the end of the world. They have other players that can step up. I feel like they've got another guy that's out injured at the minute who has been extremely dangerous for this team, but I can't think who it is right now, so that's fine. Goaltending will be very telling, I think. I will be very surprised if we don't face Sergei Bobrovsky, who's been quite good for them all season. He's got a 906 save percentage, 4 shutouts, including one against the Blue Jackets already. Obviously, the Blue Jackets are kind of struggling at the minute, but the Panthers didn't play last night, and I don't believe they play tomorrow night either. So, no, they don't. The only game is the Blue Jackets game tomorrow night. Great job scheduling, NHL schedule makers. So really, it's in their best interest to play Bobrovsky, right? Yes, the Blue Jackets are not necessarily a team that is putting up a big fight at the minute. They could probably put Vitek Vanacek in and he would do fine. We played really well against the Blue Jackets when they faced him in San Jose, right? So the goaltending is an uphill battle, is what I'm saying here. But I'll be very surprised if they do not see Bobrovsky between the pipes. That too, they've seen, I believe, both games so far. We might have seen Spencer Knight in the first one. Yes, they did see Spencer Knight in the first game, but Bobrovsky's going to be the guy, and that means that you've got to beat Sergei Bobrovsky, which again they've done before, but it's going to be a tough. It's going to be a tough game. Blue Jackets 4-6 in their last 10 games. Panthers 7-3. They're on a 2-game losing streak at the minute. They've just lost to Montreal and the Islanders, which is frustrating because those are two teams that are chasing the Blue Jackets in the standings right now. So it'd be great if they could do us a solid. Or hey, the New York Islanders have actually jumped the Blue Jackets in the standings, and the Canadians are above them as well. So even if the Blue Jackets win tonight, they won't be back into the playoffs. They will tie with the Rangers for just being out of the playoffs, but they need to win. They got to win tonight. They got to win tomorrow night against the Penguins. Like that's just straight up how it goes. In terms of players to watch for the Panthers, obviously I named a few names earlier. Sam Bennett has 5 points, including 3 goals in his last 5 games. Sam Reinhart has 4 assists in his last 5 games. Players that played well last time. Sam Reinhart, Maki Samoskevich, Alexander Barkov all had goals. Sam Reinhart had a 3-point night. Sasha Barkov also had a 3-point night. So, those are the guys to watch, right? And obviously Bobrovsky. Bobrovsky's the big one. We might get lucky. We might face Vanacek, but my guess is it's going to be Bobrovsky. The Blue Jackets have already said that it's going to be the same lineup as against the Devils on Monday night, except they'll have Elvis Merzlikins in goal. So let's talk about how we feel about that, because the third period of that game, the Blue Jackets had some life in them. So let's break down what's happening there. Will the offense come? We'll find out. We'll talk about it in just a second here at Locked On Blue Jackets.
Did you know getting a good night's sleep is the #1 recipe for long-term success in life? I didn't. It took me way longer to realize than I'd like to admit. It was years of tossing and turning. I was always tired. I never felt like I could live up to my potential, but not anymore. Thanks to Bear Mattress. I used their sleep quiz and I matched with the Elite Hybrid. It's perfect for side sleepers like me. Now I wake up energized. I'm getting deeper sleeps and I'm ready to attack the day. No matter how you sleep, Bear Mattress has a match for you with a focus on recovery, cooling, and pressure relief to upgrade your sleep and improve your overall quality of life. Go to bearmattress.com and use promo code LOCKEDONNHL at checkout for 40% off site-wide. This offer is not available anywhere else. You have to use my promo code on the very last page of checkout to get this discount. That's bearmattress.com and use promo code LOCKEDONNHL for 40% off site-wide. Bearmattress.com, promo code LOCKEDONNHL.
Welcome back to Locked On Blue Jackets. Let's talk about the Blue Jackets. Some new look lines in the third period against the Devils. It was Fantilli, Johnson, Marchenko, and then Jenner centering Chinakhov and Voronkov. Blue Jackets outshot the Devils like 24-3 or something in the third period. Is this a good sign? Or is this, a desperate team trying in vain to not get shut out for the third game in a row? Ironically, the top two lines did not actually result in the goal. That was Mathieu Olivier with his 16th of the season. But these top two lines, they're together again tonight. Looks like it's going to be basically the same lineup as was in that third period. So we'll see how it goes. I like this lineup a lot. I've been kind of clamoring quietly and also less quietly for the Johnson, Fantilli, Marchenko line for a while. And now that Chinakhov's back, they can pair him with Voronkov. And I really do think you get the best out of Voronkov when he has a Russian on his line. I don't love that Jenner is back at center, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do, right? It doesn't sound like any of the injured guys are going to be ready to come back. But when they do, I wonder if you put Monahan in Jenner's position between Chinakhov and Voronkov and see what happens there. Push Jenner back to the wing, put Sillinger back in. Anyway, I like these top two lines. The bottom six is the bottom six, right? I'm surprised that JVR's ice time has dropped so abruptly. Like he didn't play a lot in the game against Dallas, like under 10 minutes, maybe. Let me just see if I can pull that up real quick. Which surprised me because he was one of he was doing really well in the top six. He was a guy that, again, had really taken advantage of the situation that he was in. He played 857, all things told, but he's got 30 points in 60 games, which at the age of 35, like the guy was on a PTO before he was coming to Columbus, like got a little bit cold in the last, no points in the last 4 games. So like I do kind of get it, but I don't know. I would probably give him a scooch more ice time than 9 minutes when you consider, the success that he's had with this team this season. But he's in the bottom six. That's what's happening. I'm not sure how I feel about the recent additions. Like Luke Cunnin has been fine? ? Like he's not been the best player, but he's not been an abject disaster, right? He's kind of probably been net neutral, which is about kind of where I expected him to be, right? Just see if I can pull up his numbers while he's been here. But I still would take probably Luca Del Blues over Luke Cunnin. I would definitely take him over Christian Fischer, who has played in one game and hasn't really done anything. But if I flip the stats just to see what's happening, the Blue Jackets with Luke Cunnin on the ice are, again, a roundabout net neutral. He's played 5 games. He's played about 50 and a half minutes. Shot attempt 48 for 54 against. So not positive, but close enough to neutral that I'm like, okay, this is fine, right? He's in the top half of players that have played. He's got better numbers than Zach Aston Reese, than Mathieu Olivier, than guys like that. So I still think I would take Mikhail Pucha over him, but that's probably more of a longevity thing. Like Mikhail Pucha will be here next season. Luke Cunnin will not, right? I was kind of hoping for a little bit more from the deadline pickups, if I'm being honest. And maybe this is being skewed by the fact that the top six scoring has just withered and turned into dust. But I was hoping for a little bit more. Again, I liked Luca Del Bubbalus a lot. I thought he gave great energy, gave great pop. Played well with Kent Johnson. Responded well to James Van Riemsdyk. Is an actual center, which helps, and again is part of the long term view of this team in a way that Boone Jenner probably is not, right? But in terms of who is on the team and who needs to show up tonight, it's the top six, right? Like Mathieu Olivier has scored the last 2 goals for this team, and that's great. That's fun. That's not where you need to be, right? Mathieu Olivier has 5 points in his last 5 games, including 4 goals. Zach Werenski has 3 assists in his last 5 games. And beyond that, like, and again, like that's uncharacteristic of Werenski as well. Like he's sitting on 69 points on the season in 66 games. So he's still like right there. He's still got, he's still leading this team in scoring, but like they need more from him if he is going to continue to do what he's done all season, right? And partially that's because no one has friggin' scored on this team in like 3 games, but they need Koromachenko to step up. They need Adam Fantilli to step up. They need Kent Johnson to step up. Like, be great to see Chidakov start to take steps again. Like, it'd be great to see Boone Jenner get a goal. They need the top 6 to be the top 6 because otherwise they're not going to get anywhere, right? Like, Florida is a deeper team than the Blue Jackets, and Florida is a better team than the Blue Jackets. So how do they beat them, right? They've got better scoring, they've got better defense, they've got better goaltending. Do the Blue Jackets just have to work harder? Like, I don't know that that's a viable strategy. This team can beat anyone on any given day. They've been real unlucky the past 2 weeks or so, let's say. And unfortunately, you can't willpower your way out of bad luck, right? You just have to kind of grit your teeth and get through it. I was hoping that maybe one of the injured players would be returning tonight. It doesn't sound like any of them are, but it sounds like they're getting pretty close. So we'll take a quick break, and then we'll talk a little bit about the injured players, and we'll do some predictions for tonight's game. That's all coming up in just a second here on Locked On Blue Jackets. First, I've got to tell you about FanDuel. March Madness is here. FanDuel is giving you the chance to get in on the action like never before. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. It's $200 extra to use on everything from buzzer beaters to Cinderella stories and even who's cutting down the nets. Now, my father-in-law is a big Illini fan, so they're definitely on my list for guys to pay attention to. And FanDuel is making it super easy to back them with spreads, totals, and game props. With tournament games happening almost every day, there's always something exciting to bet on, and the app is so easy to use. When I win, I get paid instantly. There's no waiting around. So visit FanDuel.com, get in on the college hoops action all tournament long. Welcome back to Locked On Blue Jackets. We are talking a little bit more about tonight's game against Panthers, but I wanted to touch on the injured players. Because there's a couple of that came out yesterday, a couple more that came out kind of this morning. None of them are playing tonight, so none of Monahan, Sillinger, or Gabranson will be in the lineup, but they've all been skating with the team. It looks like Sean Monahan is basically ready to go as soon as he gets the okay. I think they said, let me see if I can pull the quote up. Can't wait to get back out on the ice is essentially it. Just waiting for the okay from the coaching, from the medical staff. So it sounds like he's pretty close. Now, his projected return was like March 22nd. So I wonder if they play him tomorrow, although the Penguins were the team that injured him, so maybe not. I wonder if, he gets the go-ahead on Sunday, which I think is their next game, Sunday or Monday. Gabranson says that he's not ready yet. He's getting there. Quote, "The light is at the end of the tunnel. It's right there. I'm feeling good. Just happy to be around the boys and on this schedule and not my own." But again, this is a guy that I thought would not be back this season, right? This is a guy that I thought would be done for the year, and here he is. He is right there. It's ready to go. He'll be back before the end of the season, which, knock on wood, means that he'll be here for the playoffs. I don't know what it means when he comes back into the lineup. Whether we'll experience. What will probably happen is he'll go in for Johnson, but then when Christensen is healthy again, does Christensen get to come back into the lineup? Like, I'm kind of over the Damon Severson of it all at the minute. He's had a lot of bad games in a row, but I don't think they'll scratch him. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Cole Sillinger, it sounds like, is also pretty close. Again, just waiting to get the okay from medical is what I understand, but they're always like that, right? They are consistently here, and they are consistently like, "No, I'm ready to go. Put me in." So whether that means that he's actually healthy or whether he just wants to come back because the team is losing and he thinks he can help, I don't know. But it sounds like one of them might be an option for tomorrow's game. Dean Everson said, I think, that there's a chance that there's a chance that they get injured players back, quote, this week. Now, I don't know whether that means, again, obviously not tonight, but I don't know if that means like tomorrow against the Penguins. I don't know if that means on the Sunday, which I believe the Blue Jackets play on the Sunday, the 23rd it is. I'm just pulling that up now. The Blue Jackets do not play on the Sunday. So if they don't return tomorrow, their next available game will be Monday against the Islanders. So that's maybe a game to mark for the injured players. Is my guess is that we'll see potentially Monahan back, and maybe even Sillinger back on that Monday as well, and then we'll see Gabranson when we see him. But none of them are playing tonight. Same lineup as against the Devils. We'll see if they can bring the energy that they brought in that third period against New Jersey for the entirety of this game. But the Panthers are a much better team than the Devils, so it's going to be difficult. But if they play the way that they did then, like, you have to have a good feeling about it, right? Predictions. I have not bet against the Blue Jackets all season, and I will not start now because sometimes they just need someone to believe in them, right? So let's say a 3-1 victory with an empty netter, even though we know empty netters don't count on this podcast. And I'm going to say, let's get a Zach Werenski goal. It's been a minute. He's one away from setting a new record for goals by a Blue Jackets defenseman in a single season. Let's go ahead and pencil in a Zach Werenski goal. He has a hat trick against the Panthers. It's been a couple of seasons, but that was his first career hat trick. It was against Sergei Bobrovsky. It was that New Year's Eve game. So let's go ahead and let's pencil that in. So that's my prediction for the game. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll break down tonight's game. We'll talk about the Penguins game tomorrow night. And hopefully we'll get to talk more about the good, the bad, and the ugly, because it's been a lot of bad and ugly the past few games. I've been Jay Foster. You can find me on Twitter at _Jacob Foster, JAKOBFORSTER. You can find the show at LO_Blue Jacket on Twitter. Thank you for making us your first listen of the day every single day. We're free and available on all podcast platforms and over on YouTube. Like I said, we'll be back tomorrow. Thank you once again for listening. And until tomorrow, make sure you stay locked on.